All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. This is going to be really interesting today, doing our bias chart. I'm trying to figure out exactly where our levels of interest today. I think is going to be extremely waiting for our prices. So let's go ahead and let's start with the euro dollar. Okay, so here's the euro. All right, now with a wick that looks like that, it's hard to know exactly where our prices are. But I'll tell you this much: if you look at what we wrote down yesterday, okay. What did, and maybe you guys can help me out, those of you that did the bias chart, what was the support we wrote down for the euro yesterday? Do you guys know what that was that we wrote down yesterday? 110. Okay, and we drew this yellow line, right? We went to 109.90 and ripped after that. Now, obviously, we've come straight down, but I'll tell you, there's people right now that are long the euro. They're long the euro because, well, Donald Trump won last night, so why shouldn't I be short? Why shouldn't I be short the dollar, right? So I'll tell you right now that every stop in the world is sitting below 110 or 109.90. So anybody who's long, if we give up 1.0990, yeah, I don't. It's probably, you're going to see the dollar rally like it's nobody's business. Right? Christiane said resistance we had written down at 111.40. Well, the unthinkable happened. So the unthinkable as far as the markets go. And you notice how we actually initially spiked above the 111.40 resistance, came down, and then rallied. Okay, so the question is today, where is it that the euro really starts a recovery? I mean, because that's really what it boils down to, right? Where exactly would we start to see a euro recovery? And that's got to be right here. Right there. That comes in at 111, let's just call it 111.10. Because those seem like your boundaries today. It's kind of like, you know where you're, kind of know where your sandbox is, if you will. All right. Wow, equities are still bouncing. Equities might go positive today, just to screw everybody. They really might. They really might. Interesting. Okay, sorry. Bias, let's put this in range. Because I guess that's the best thing I can do for like today. It's like, okay, we're in a range. Hell of a range, but we're in a range. And I would think that beyond, by the way, let's say we get above 111.10, any move to 112 now, you're going to find sellers because people are going to sell strength. And you're going to hear me yawn a lot, so just FYI. Okay. Let's go take a look at the cable. Pound. Well, the pound was confined to our ranges, weren't we? Support 123.25, resistance 125.75, and I don't think we need to know anything much more than that. right? 123.25, 125.75, and I'm actually today. Okay, I'm going to put us in a range, but today, if we drop below this support right here, if we drop back below that 125.25 or 23.25, I'm going to put the bearish um, designation back on the pound. Let's go over to the dollar Swiss. So the Swiss National Bank, they warned about being active in in the event of a Trump victory. Well, I'm not sure if they were the ones that were actively pursuing buying the dollar, but I'll tell you this much, that we had a lot of support down here. So any move now to 96.35, which is trendline support, should be very well supported. Okay. I think the market right now is just trying to figure out what the hell to do next, and that's the obvious. Everybody's trying to figure it out. And resistance right now would be 98, whatever that low is, 98.45. Okay, and we're in a range as well. All right, let's take a look at the dollar yen. Here's the dollar yen. Now, this is significant. Okay, let me grab this blue line here. That's support, right? Let's get rid of this. We don't need that. $786 retracement, 101.20. And technicals really don't matter in this situation. They really don't as much, obviously. But as the market, as people, reassess, it will matter a little bit more. But obviously yesterday was all emotional. So 120 or 101.20. I don't even want to write that because it's really hard to gauge here. Gap up, rally, hit resistance on the dime, fill the gap obviously, and then some. I mean, honestly just don't know. You probably want to sell a move up to 104.20, right? And be any buyer back down here. But it's like, are we going back down there? That's the question. Um, so 104.20. I maybe intraday 103, and then obviously 101.20. So I'm going to write down both 101.20, 103. And we'll have to just put us in range for right now. Let's take a look at the dollar Canadian. Now the dollar Canadian originally rallied, obviously on the Trump victory as people came in and sold the Canadian. Now, notice how we came right up and challenged, and we had noted this trend line. We've had this drawn out for quite some time, so that's obviously very, very key resistance. Support is 133, and we respected it. So 133, 130, 135.20, 133, 135.20, and we're still in a bullish trend here. And with Donald Trump taking the presidency, I imagine that this bull trend is going to stay intact. Wow, look at stocks. The equity markets are. We're gonna end up clawing all the way back. Dow futures only down 250 points now. Wow. We got to go take a look at equities really quick. Here, look at the Dow futures. Look at the Dow futures staging a rally. Look at here's the NASDAQ futures pushing higher. Here's the E-minis pressing higher. This is a hell of a recovery. Surprising, but hell of a recovery. Okay. I'm going to put you guys on break for a little bit. I'm tired. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Still can't see anything. Eyes are still blurry. I can't believe the euro dollar is down on the day. That is crazy. I mean, that is crazy. Nuts. The euro dollar is down on the day. How is that possible? I can't believe it. Well, actually, I can, but it's like I'm sure the market's thinking that right now. Like, how in the hell is the euro dollar down on the day? Um, it's amazing. Amazing. It really is. Let's go ahead and we were looking at the commodity currencies. So that was the E-mini futures. Let's go ahead and take a look at let's go over to the Aussie. Now here's the Aussie dollar. We're almost at a 618 retracement, which I'm assuming is going to be some resistance here, because you can see this is all previous support, current resistance. But we have to make the assumption that we go further and higher. Whoops, damn it. I have to imagine we go a little higher than where we're currently at, but 77, beyond 77, then we have 77.30. So we have 77 cents, and then 77, what was that? 36, so 77.35, be some resistance there. Put us in a range. Wow, look at the euro dollar. The euro's going to hit new lows on the day, guys. You know what's happening. It is happening, in case you're not aware of it. The euro dollar is on a one-way street to just take out new lows. Pound is back below 124. Okay, let's see, support for the Aussie intraday is probably going to be down here. 76, I'll just write it, 76.35. Okay, let's go over to the Kiwi. Now the Kiwi, yesterday we wrote down support at being 72.70, right? 72.75, I think, is what we were writing down yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But this is really support, 72.75, okay? That's going to be pretty major support. Resistance, I mean, we rallied all the way to 74 cents. How crazy is that? Let's remove that. Let's remove this. 38% retracement. Okay. Man, this euro is going to hit new lows. U.S. dollar, Swedish krona. Almost new trend highs. Wow. I mean, this dollar's out of control strong right now, at least against the European currencies. Pound is just getting clobbered at the moment. Well, I wonder if the euro is going to hit new lows. I mean, it looks like it's going to hit new lows. The pound looks like it's going to hit new lows. The momentum is just so strong here in the dollar, and it's just the algos now are gunning through for these supports here. I don't know if we're going to do it. Sorry, guys, just kind of trying to pay attention to see if it's going to do it. Okay, so Kiwi, let's figure out where resistance is. Well, I'm just going to write down 74 cents because I don't know if we're going to get all the way back up there again. But a couple of things, I guess. Let me go back and note this about the Kiwi. So here's the Kiwi. Actually, what we'll do is we'll probably write down resistance at 73.40. 73.40. Okay. The Aussie, one of the things I want to bring up about the Aussie dollar is we hit new highs, right? We hit new highs overnight, or yesterday. We completely reversed right to trendline support. That obviously held, right? The slow. Which means, how important is this support down here at 75.80? Now that's 100 pips away. All right. I doubt we're going to see that today, but it's worth noting that that's major support. Okay. Okay. Brian asked, did I try eye drops? No, not yet. I don't know where they're at. I haven't had a chance to look for anything, man. Okay, where am I at? Dollar index. All right, so there's the dollar index. And I guess what we have to do is we actually have to look at this entire move, right? So we're at the 618 retracement currently. So a move beyond here, which is possible, a move beyond here will take us to 98, let's just call it 98.45. Like, let's say the euro hits new lows, which it looks like it's going to. 98.45. That'll be your next level of resistance. And we are in a range. Now, support in the dollar. Trying to figure out where support is going to be really interesting. It's kind of like all these other pairs. It's like, I'm really not too sure, but I would think $97.20 is support. Okay, let's talk about this peso. Here, CNBC is actually talking about the peso right now. So if you guys are wondering like where the peso can go, now I think what's going to be important today is do we close above 20 or not? All right. So 20 is obviously resistance, big resistance. Okay. If we can close above 20 by the end of the day, it opens a move for 21, which I think is entirely possible. Now, a 21 is the 161% extension of this move. Okay. So 20 is your first resistance. Support should be at 1950 today, which will be right here. I think we got to watch it very carefully because, people are wondering if this is just end up being a false breakout in the dollar peso. But remember who won the presidency? It was Donald Trump. So therefore, I think that an upside breakout in the dollar Mexican peso is quite likely. So 20, 1950, resistance is 20, and then beyond that, is going to be 2075. Then obviously 21. Support should be at 1950 today. This thing is bullish. Okay. Okay. Here's the US dollar Norwegian krona. So it's amazing. This thing stayed confined. 813 to 830. That's easy, right? That's good. So range. Now the Swedish krona, different story. So here's the US dollar Swedish krona right up against resistance, which is 908. Remember, support was 888, which we went basically to 890 last night, and then bounced like a bat out of hell, and I wasn't paying attention to this one at all. I wasn't even looking. Actually, I did look at it at one point. I looked at it, and we were sitting at like 892. I'm like, yeah, I should be buying the dollar Swedish krona. I just didn't do it. I was too busy, looking at the yen pairs, trading the yen pairs, trading the euro, New Zealand. I was doing all sorts of other stuff, so I wasn't even focused here. But 888, 909, still bullish. Okay. All right, guys. So your bias chart is done. Here it is. I'm just going to leave it here for you for a second.